I have reused this tea now twice, and I could probably get a third use out of it. And this is just one of the many ways that I live zero waste in a weird way. Let's talk about a few more. Hello everyone, it's Emma and welcome back to my channel where I talk about all sorts of things zero waste, focusing on free, easy, and fun ways to live low waste. But of course, we do have to talk about the ways in which I live zero waste that are weird. Not necessarily weird to me. I don't think any of these are weird. I think these are different ways to reduce your waste. I don't think they are quite mainstream. They are weird according to society, and I have the receipts to prove it. This one's probably the most tame that we're going to be talking about today, and that is reusing your tea bag more than once. It's not normal, so therefore it is a little bit weird. Let's start off with a really weird one, particularly to those on Instagram, the haters in my comments. And that is a deodorant crystal. Yes, this is a crystal. It's called tawas in its indigenous uses, I believe in the Philippines and other parts of Southeast Asia. Potassium alum salt. It's literally a block of potassium aluminum salt that you wet, you put onto your armpits, and it kills bacteria. It is designed to not prevent you from sweating, but to prevent the smell. I love this because it lasts so long. It's very easy to use, very basic ingredients. This cork can be composted at the end of its life. It is hit or miss. There have been days where I have been smelly with this. There have been days where I was like, wow, this is working excellently. It's not perfect, but it sure is weird to wet and rub a salt crystal on your armpits to prevent any smell. And yes, 99% of the comments on my viral deodorant crystal video on Instagram definitely agreed, this one is weird, I'm a freak, and I smell. Only one of those is true, it is weird. I guess maybe I'm a freak. I actually just did a review of 7 or 8, I already forget, I literally just filmed it, zero waste deodorants that you can check out up here if you want more normal deodorant recommendations, or you can be weird like me and use a deodorant crystal. Another weird one, and again, people on Instagram agree that this is weird. I use reusable toilet paper when hiking. I don't use it at home only because we live in an RV and we don't have space for reusable toilet paper, but we do have a stockpile of it in storage, and we'll probably use it again when we move into a real house. That's for a future video. For now though, let's talk about the reusable toilet paper I use while I go hiking. This is a Kula cloth. This side it's just designed to be discreet and cute. This is the side you actually wipe with. Please only use this for pee. That is its intended use, for pee only. And its other intended use is for those of us that squat to pee. We can actually wipe while we're out hiking, out on the go, without having to worry about, you know, dripping into your underwear or carrying a bunch of disposable toilet paper and then packing it out. Because while you technically can bury toilet paper out in the wilderness, you shouldn't, because it is litter. It does not belong there. You should pack it out. And I would much rather pack out one single piece of reusable, non-stink, antimicrobial fabric than a bunch of disposable, stinky toilet paper. Like, people don't think that's weird, carrying out your toilet paper, but people think that this is weird. So again, it is antimicrobial, it is anti-smell, it is made with silver-infused fabric called Silver Tech. I have used this recently. Should I sniff it? I'm scared, but I think I'm gonna. I would not be sniffing this again if it stank, okay? That's disgusting. I'm shoving my face into there, but I swear it does not smell. I'm not a liar, okay? And I know you guys believe me. You guys on YouTube are very, very kind. People on Instagram would say, oh, you're lying. You're doing this for clout. Why would I lie? I guess people do lie for clout, but I don't. I'm a very honest person. It dries out really quickly. You can hang it open on your bag, like so, if you want it to dry, or you can clasp it together. And there's still airflow in there. As you can see, it's still open, but it's a little bit more discreet when you're carrying it as a triangle. If you're out on a multiple day backpacking trip, you can dunk this in a creek, dunk this in a lake, give it a quick rinse if that makes you feel more comfortable. You can use some biodegradable soap while you're out in the wilderness, but I usually just use it on a hike. I use it on a weekend backpacking trip, and then I wash it when I get home. But those of you that hike and squat to pee, game changer. One of my favorite zero waste swaps of all time, even if it's weird. Let's go to the bathroom, shall we? There's a weird one in there. Speaking of favorite zero waste swaps of all time, my bidet. We are so obsessed with our bidet that we literally got a new toilet for the RV so that we could put our bidet on it. Our old RV toilet would not accommodate for a bidet, so we bought a whole new toilet to get a bidet. Was that the most eco-friendly thing in the world? No. Truly game-changing. And people think it's weird. I'm not really sure why. I mean, I did too before I used bidets. I got on the bidet train actually not for zero waste reasons when I moved to Japan. So popular in Japan because they are very obsessed with hygiene. And it is so hygienic to use a bidet. Tushy bidet, their analogy is if you got poop on your arm, would you just wipe it off with toilet paper? Absolutely not. You're using water. You're scrubbing. Not that you need to scrub your butthole, but that's the whole point is you got poop on your butt. Why would you not use water to rinse it off? So it's more hygienic, and then of course it helps cut down on how much toilet paper you're using because you don't have to wipe as much if you spray most of it off. But all that to say, plenty of people, especially in the West, especially in the United States, think that bidets are weird, think that they are gross for some reason, but I'm here to say Is it a little bit weird? Yes, in our Western mindset, it is a little bit weird, but so many cultures have been using bidets for centuries. This is not new technology. Very, very common across the world, very hygienic, and helps you reduce some waste. Another weird one we have in here, a reusable tissue stash. We are running low because it's laundry day. I've only got 3 left in here, but we have 2 sets. I have one set that I have made from scratch. These are literally just bits and pieces of old t-shirt. As you can see, the edges are kind of curling. They're not the cutest, but I made them for free. So you can have free reusable tissues at home with leftover fabric from t-shirts. T-shirts work great because they're really thin. I wouldn't use anything thicker than a t-shirt. And then we also have these nicer ones from Bodhi. They are like, you know, perfectly square. They have nice edges. They're a little bit bigger. These were gifted to me several years ago from Bodhi. I got them new. I use them all day, every day. I use them to clean off glasses. I use them as tissues. I use them to clean off my reusable floss pick. I use them to clean the mirror in the bathroom. I use them to clean the counters in the bathroom. They are great for so many uses, not just for tissues. But yeah, people think these weird, especially because I do tend to carry one in my pocket and use it to wipe my nose or wipe my face when I'm out to eat. I can see how it's a little bit weird to like blow your nose in a hanky and then put that big giant glob of snot in your pocket and then reuse it again. That is getting into weird and gross territory. I'm not gonna lie. But these, I'm talking like I've got a little bit dribble of snot. I'm gonna wipe that away real quick. I've got a little bit of sauce on the corner of my mouth. I'm gonna wipe that away real quick. I use these very sparingly. As you can see, we went through a whole pack in a week. I think that's one way that you can use reusable tissues in a less weird, less gross way, is to use it like one use, put it in the laundry, and then get another clean one. You don't have to use the same gross one over and over and over again. Also here to say they wash out very, very well. We've never, you know, had leftover boogers and snot on these. Sorry, this episode's getting kind of gross. They do stain. This is hair dye. We've never had one stained with snot though. But anyway, the general public does deem those weird, so I wanted to include it. I believe that's it for zero waste swaps that are weird, but I do have some weird zero waste habits as well. One of them being, and I'm about to do it because I'm about to do laundry, is I dry my period underwear right here atop our kitchen. I don't always do this. I don't always dry my period underwear in the kitchen, you know, when we're in an actual house. But because this is our space that we're working with, it is limited, I do like to dry them up here. For 2 reasons. 1, it's the best inside option that we have. And 2, because most RV parks don't allow you to hang dry laundry outside because of, you know, aesthetics and stuff. I'm not afraid to air dry laundry outside, but I do think that somebody might either be weird or, you know, report me or something for drying my underwear outside. I also started this habit in Minnesota where there were mosquitoes, spiders, ticks galore, and I did not want bugs in my underpants. I would be much more inclined to do it here now that we're like in the outskirts of a city in California. Don't have to worry about bugs as much, but I've already gotten into the habit of just drying them up here. Nothing wrong with it for me. Dan doesn't seem to mind. He hasn't at least voiced it. But is it a little bit weird? Yes. And I would absolutely not do that with guests over. That is one zero waste habit that I have that I truly think is weird. But I'm gonna keep doing it. This one might not be weird, but it is unaesthetically pleasing, and that is I use scrap pieces of paper for my grocery list. It's ugly. Not gonna lie. It's ugly, and then my clip right here is broken. It's hot glued. Like, unaesthetically pleasing. It's ugly. If you want more ways that I live zero waste in an ugly way that, you know, goes against normal aesthetics, you can check out this video. Let's see what kinds of scraps we have in here. Lots of like mail stuff. Yeah, this is like a mail order summary. Ooh, this one is like tattoo piercing aftercare. These blue ones are from our ballots for Washington. So whatever scraps of paper I have that have blank sides on them, free grocery list, free note-taking paper. It's ugly, it gets the job done, it's definitely not normal according to society's standards. This one I actually do get comments about quite frequently online, mostly on Instagram, is that's like, oh, you're so poor, you drink out of jars. It's like, no, I do it because I have a jar for free. Like, in fact, I have more money because I'm not spending money on cups. Do it if you don't have the finances to buy cups, but also do it because it's saving waste. This is my favorite one to use as a cup because it's wide mouth. It's great for making mixed drinks in here. I make shaken espresso lattes in here. It's a perfect cup. It also has measurements on it, which is great if you're making something that requires, you know, you to measure. I've also taken it to the bulk store. Perhaps that's weird too. Not only that I reuse jars as cups and other storage, but I also reuse jars without taking the labels off. I cannot be bothered. Dan can. Dan took the label off of this one, and like, I'm not gonna lie, that's a nice looking jar without a label on there. But I do not care. Especially when the label is difficult to get off. These Newman's Own salsa jars, easiest labels ever to get off. I need a little bit of elbow grease to get the rest of the glue off, but that label came off so well. I'm more inclined to take those labels off. But when a label is fully glued on, I cannot be bothered. I not only reuse jars, I reuse jars as cups. And the last weird zero waste habit that I have for today, this list is not conclusive. If you want more, let me know. And if you want more from the past, you can check out this video up here. My weird habits have changed. I actually don't use all of those weird habits anymore, and I have implemented new ones. Anyway, my last weird habit for today is I don't always wash my comforter. I'm very strict about washing the sheets, but the comforter, I don't like to wash that often because one, I dyed it, so the more I wash it, the more frequently that dye will wash out. Two, our current laundry situation at this laundromat, the bedding just really does not fit in the washing machine or the drying machine that well. So it doesn't get thoroughly washed anyway. It doesn't get thoroughly dried, which means I have to spend more money trying to dry it. And what could be a $5 load ends up being $10 or $15 sometimes because of how often I have to dry it at this laundromat. Instead, don't worry, I still disinfect it, but I disinfect it in the sun. The sun is really, really great at disinfecting, getting stains out, and deodorizing your clothes all at the same time for free. So when it's laundry day for the bedding, I wash the sheets, but also like that rainbow blanket right there, that's handmade, my crochet. I like to wash it as little as possible because I don't want it to fall apart. So all those top blankets, both top blankets and the comforter, they go out in the sunshine. Yes, even in the RV park, I drape them over the bed of the truck, I drape them over our bikes, I drape them over the picnic tables, wherever I can find space to set them in the sun, as well as just to get some airflow on them because that also helps prevent mold and mildew, especially now that we're living in a really humid place. I guess similarly to that is I don't always wash my clothes after every single use. These sweatpants I have been wearing for several days. I wear them at home only, right? These are not clothes that I go out in. These are clothes that I sit at the computer and work in. Therefore, I'm not sweaty, I'm not stinky, I'm not dirty. They don't need washed every single time. Undergarments are a different story, but this shirt that I'm only going to be wearing for filming does not need washed. These pants that I'm just going to sit in my kitchen in every single day don't need washed for a couple days. Pajamas I wear several times. Jeans I wear several times. Sweatshirts I wear several times. Stuff that is not dirty, sweaty, stinky. If you would prefer to wash it every single time, you can, but you simply do not have to save money and save the planet. So that is just a snippet of my weird zero waste life. Some of them, truly weird. Even I agree that they're weird, but some of them are just weird according to society. You don't have to try to make me feel better in the comments. I'm confident. I don't care what the haters say. I don't care if the haters think I'm weird. I like what I do. I like to save money. I like to save the planet. You can implement these if you want to, but if they're too weird for you, leave them. I have many more tips on my channel that are less weird and also some that are normalized. So sorry, zero waste is honestly just going to feel weird to the general public because it's not normal to refill. It's not normal to reuse. It's not normal to air dry your clothing and use a bidet, for example. So even the most normal zero waste swaps and habits are still going to be a little bit weird compared to the normal stuff that we do in Western society. Let us know about your weird zero waste life down below. And again, check out my old videos on how I live a weird zero waste life currently and in the past. And I'm sure I'll adapt more weird ways that I live zero waste in the future. And I'll go ahead and hint this. I'm working on something behind the scenes. It's going to be featured in my gift guide because it is something that you can buy for one another for the holiday season. But that is all that I will tease for now. If you want to learn more details, I am discussing it heavily on Patreon and YouTube memberships because those guys over there are going to be testing the product before I actually launch it. And of course, I'll be testing any future products with you on Patreon and memberships. And I also just launched my Eco Book Club on Patreon and membership. Starting for just $1 a month, you can join the Eco Book Club. Please do not feel forced to give me your money. Your views, your likes, your comments do help a lot, are great ways to support me for free. But I do know that there are people out there who want something extra from me or want to support me in a monetary way. If you want to, those are options, but please do not feel obligated. Anyway, that is all that I have for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found some joy in this one, found this one funny, a little bit entertaining. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video though, but until then, remember that your small actions make a big difference in the long run. Bye guys. I feel like my forehead is bigger than normal. Chat, let me know below. Is my forehead bigger? I think I'm gonna stay here. I kind of like this angle, but I believe it's crooked. Bye guys. Ooh, this lighting's kind of good. Should I start filming in the bathroom? Whoa, this is like the best lighting I've seen in the whole RV. We got a skylight right here. And this skylight is dirty, so it kind of diffuses the light. But then we also have, do I have any on top? Am I about to touch a dirty tissue for you guys? I won't include that. It'll be in the bloopers. You who watch the bloopers will know that this is a dirty tissue.